Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Ecosystem Aces. I'm Chip Rodgers, Chief Partner Officer at WorkSpan. And gosh, I'm so excited today to be joined by Jim Anderson. Jim, welcome.
Thanks, Chip. Thank you and WorkSpan for having me on the podcast. I look forward to the conversation.
Yeah, likewise. So, Jim, you're calling in from Christmas Central, I see.
Yes, the family's gotten to my office, and we're full swing on the holiday season right now. So yes, I am sort of ready to go from Christmas Central right now.
That's awesome. I don't know if I don't know. I doubt you have any snow down in Austin at this point, but you're definitely keeping up the Christmas spirit.
Exactly. No snow. And I know I was born in the Northeast and I don't miss it at all. So I look forward to our season. I doubt we will have snow this year.
Well, that's so. Like I said, I'm really excited, Jim, for you to join us. And just a quick introduction. Many of you know Jim already, but Jim is Vice President of North America Partner Ecosystem and Channels at Google. And Jim, I think you've been with Google for about 6 years, and you've made it through all the highlights of the technology industry. HP, BAE, Cisco, Dell. Many years at HP early in your career, and so you've hit all the highlights in technology.
Yes. Yeah. I have a lot of gray hair, Chip, because of that, but I just shave it off, so I hide it. So that's been an exciting, 25 plus years in technology. And I think we're at another exciting time right now with regards to AI and everything's happening. So I tell a lot of my friends, hey, good time to be in technology once again.
That's for sure. It's so many things happening and things happening quickly with AI. It's really just accelerated the pace and everybody putting everything into cloud, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Jim, maybe you have a big job at Google and a big team, in your sort of your area. Let's start there and just tell us a little bit about what your about your role and about what your team is up to these days.
Yeah, so you sort of heard the long title, Partner Ecosystem and Channels, but really, what we and my team are focused in on is really trying to leverage a partner ecosystem to improve the time to value associated with Google technologies at customers, right? In general, as customers are trying to leverage our technologies, we need an ecosystem to support that. And as you know, Chip, we're not building out a big professional services arm ourselves at Google and those types of things. So we rely on the ecosystem, to sort of make that happen and do it. And we look at it across at least 4 dimensions. We look at it from the GSIs that a lot of people are familiar with, those global system integrators. We look at it from even regional or specialty system integrators, that really have some domain or industry expertise we want to leverage. Key to our success are ISVs, right? So we are responsible for working with ISVs and partnering there, along with more of the traditional resellers, that are turning into solution partners also. Across all 4 of those dimensions, we work with those types of organizations to partner to drive customer success.
Yeah. So like I said, that's a lot.
It's a lot, but it's important. And, as we all know, it's not just about, the transaction associated with technology. It's making sure that technology can make a difference and drive the business outcomes that customers are looking for. And that's really the focus, of our group, leveraging, Google technology. Everything.
Yeah. And it's interesting because Google as Google Cloud as a platform player. I mean, Google has a lot of technology with Workspace and a number of technologies that you're delivering sort of first party technology, but being able to then because Google is a platform, being able to build by bringing more partners in, you're bringing more value to customers.
Right, and that's sort of the key, right? We have our first-party products, but a lot of them are sort of augmented with some of the third-party products out there in the ecosystem, right? And so we want to make sure the customers can maximize the value of our first-party products. That's why the third-party products and what we do is so important, right? So I always look at not just what we do, but what's attached to what we do from an organization standpoint, and how, once again, that can drive, value with our customers.
Yeah. So Jim, I thought let's I thought it was really interesting. You have some sort of some partnering principles that I think are really we talked about it earlier, and I think they're really valuable. Let's start there and talk a little bit about what those principles are, because you have to not only partner yourself, but sort of infuse those concepts into everyone in the team so that they're carrying that forward as well.
Yeah, thanks, Chip. So, as you know, my background, I sort of come from sales. I've been in sales most of the time. That sort of forms the foundation, at least what I believe is a successful partnership. I've learned over time, and I really have three principles that I try to drive across all the dimensions of partnerships. Partners and partnering is very complex, but the three things I always say that are important is first, and it's not in any particular order, you have to have a win-win scenario. Right? It's amazing how, if you partner, but you don't understand what the win is on the other side, but you know what the win is your side, you just don't find that great point of intersection, right? So for example, Google's in the consumption business. If you're dealing with our sales force, what's key to them is whether this partnership is going to help them, get rewarded for consumption at their customers, right? Likewise, we have service partners, we have ISPs. It's very important for us to know their win and make sure the partnership is supporting both, I like to say, North Stars. So that's sort of the first principle. Next, especially in today's environment where there's just so much going on, I think you have to be more intentional about partnering, right? Really be clear on where you want to partner and how, right? So you can take a more proactive approach to partnering to sort of get above the noise, right? So we really work with our partners and our partnerships to say, hey, let's really define, where we're trying to go with this partnership, how we're trying to drive this partnership, and focus on that and drive the success, get the quick wins and go from there to build momentum sort of moving forward. If you do that, you definitely get more traction between the organizations. And last but not least, customer relevance is important, right? You have to understand and be very clear on why this partnership matters to customers, right? And so telling that story, being clear with not just yourselves, the sales teams and the customers, is something that I know we work very hard on, but something that's sort of forgotten. Hey, we just want to go partner. Let's just do joint account planning, those types of things. But I always tell people, if you don't have the story together, right, and understand, how you want to tell that story, then you're going to have a hard time with the partnership really getting the momentum you look for.
Yeah, that's really important. I think, it comes back to delivering customer value, right?
Yes. Exactly, right? You just have to really focus on delivering customer value. And even in today's world, I think a lot of people come to Google to understand the art of the possible, right? But not just the art of the possible, how I can make it a reality within their environment type of thing, right? And that's part of the value proposition that you have to understand and be able to articulate to the people you're working with.
Yeah, that's terrific. One of the things that I think is also really interesting is that Google, as you're working with partners, you're also, if you think about sort of the life cycle of partnering, starting with co-build, going to market together, co-market, co-selling, you really embrace all of those things. And let's talk a little bit about the co-build aspect of things. How do you think about co-building with partners, and how do you sort of bring both Google needs and roadmap and capabilities as well as the partner?
Yeah, it's sort of really relevant in today's world of AI, right? Because I think, when you really think about AI, a lot of emphasis has been, purely on the infrastructure associated with AI and large language models. But the reality is a lot of, partners, application partners are going to leverage that infrastructure, leverage those stacks, right? Large language models to actually develop, their own applications and bring value to their customers, right? So a lot of, our folks is how do we make AI as frictionless as possible so that the companies can leverage that to integrate it into their environment to go drive success and really deliver customer value in some cases in ways that they haven't done before to produce new revenue streams and those types of things. So we have a big focus on that. Unfortunately, we have a complete stack. And so depending on, what the partner is trying to accomplish, we try to bring that to bear and make sure they have access to it to drive their success.
Well, and I think, I mean, AI is transforming everything, right? It's like
Yes.
and we couldn't have this podcast without talking about AI.
It's just a matter of how
So,
long we go before we bring out the word AI type of thing. Yes, it's a generational opportunity out there, and I know a lot of people look forward to it.
yeah, yeah. And I think partners are important, especially on the SI side,
Yeah,
in terms of sort of uh, turning something that because customers are really trying to understand, right?
yeah,
They don't really understand. And there's things that are happening so fast. There's so many interesting use cases, but they may not know how do I apply this within my industry and my use cases. I think that's where partners really come in, because they bring that industry and use case specialization.
exactly, right. Chip, I like to say Google is sort of a technology shop, right? We're an innovation shop. We have a ton of innovation we bring to market, right? But then we need to rely on the partner ecosystem and partners to take that innovation and apply it to specific business outcomes, right? Especially with AI, what you see is what you really want to do is start with a business outcome you're trying to accomplish, and then understand how the technology can help you get there. But that's a combination of not just technology. For a lot of companies, that also means process change. And so a lot of our partners combine their process or industry expertise with our technology expertise to actually drive this successful digital transformation of a lot of our customers. And you kind of need all of that if you're going to be successful, not one or the other, right? So I think for us, the partner ecosystems become even more important in driving our success, here at Google, and helping us scale some of our innovation in the marketplace as we move forward.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, so and I think that also brings it back to the customer relevance.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
Definitely. I mean, customer relevance. What are they trying to customer? Like I said, a lot of customers come to us for the art of what's possible. But then the next question is, what's the ROI associated with that? Right. And to do that, you gotta be able to, understand the process change, understand the business outcomes you're trying to drive via having experience in that area. And that's where a lot of our, once again, partners bring that industry experience. Because I like to say, a lot of times the conversation is, show me the art of possible. I know this can apply to your business. I also know that we have experience in helping do this in your type of business environment. And that's why you want to partner with us moving forward, type of thing. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what we're seeing in there.
Yeah. Do you see technology? Are you working with partners on? Are these kinds of code development work that you're doing? Do they tend to be sort of customer by customer, or are you also doing sort of some deeper? Okay, hey, we see an opportunity in this industry or around this new market that's emerging. Let's get together and build something that we can then take to market to a broad set of customers. Is that
It's
happening
both.
as well?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
both and
Yeah.
all, Chip, right? I mean, in some
Yeah.
cases, depending on the partner, we are working to come up with joint solutions to address a specific business need, right? We've done that especially with some of the GSIs, where we have offerings around retail, offerings around healthcare, where, hey, listen, let's take this offering, solve this business problem for customers, and go do that jointly. We have other partners that simply want to leverage our technology to, once again, integrate AI into their particular environment to make use of it frictionless for their customers, right? And so we work with them to support them and those types of things that way. So it's a little bit, all the dimensions. That's what's so great about partnering in the ecosystem, is that we have many different avenues in which we can work together to bring value to customers, and we try to leverage as many of them as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's terrific. So let's kind of take it through the process. How about talk a little bit about the co-sell process? So you've sort of created solutions, you're bringing it to market,
Yeah.
bringing the teams together between partners and between Google and partners.
Yeah, when I look at co-sell, I sort of build on that framework. Like when we go and do co-sell, we first understand, say, hey, we understand the win-win, especially at the sales level, right? They have to understand why they should work together. Then we want to be very clear on the story that they should tell them about why this partnership matters. And then the last list is we want to be focused, right? What I tell people is it's a big market out there. Best success comes with focus. So we want to understand where we want to go with that message. and how we want to get it out there in the marketplace. And if you do that, what we find is that you accelerate the momentum associated with the partnership. As you get more wins out there, you're able to, convince more of the organization that they want to buy into it, and sort of go from there. So once again, you have this framework, you address those issues. That means that everyone will be bought in and know exactly, hey, this is the story we want to tell. And then you relate that to the customer and the value you bring, and hopefully you'll be successful.
Hopefully.
I'm assuming we will, but I wanted to just not put it in definitive terms type of thing. We're successful more often than not, but yes, hopefully you'll be successful.
That's terrific. That's terrific. So how about I think, and we're talking a little bit about this, or we're touching on it, but as partners, advice you would have to partners around specializations, and talk a little bit about that, and how I think that's important for sort of differentiating, but there are a lot of aspects to it. Maybe Jim, you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, specialization is becoming increasingly important, simply because what we're dealing with is becoming more complex, right? I would fundamentally say, whether you're a partner, whether you're a customer, no one group or partner knows it all, right? And so you have to develop some level of specialization if you want to differentiate yourself in the market, right? So what we do is, we have areas of specialization ourselves. We look to partners for other areas of specialization, and we really try to pull all of that together to offer, you want to say, a complete solution, to customers and go from there. We're very much, interested. A lot of times people say, hey, how does Google help, customers and scale out our partner ecosystem? And it really boils down to like three things. First, making sure we help them develop their skill sets, right? So we have certifications, many different classes and those types of things, so that we can impart the knowledge of our technology with our partners, right? Next, what we really do is we say, okay, you're building a practice around Google. How do we help you, right, build that practice? What can we bring to bear, right, so that you can build a practice that allows you to differentiate yourself with Google technology, right? And I think that's a key aspect, right? It's not just building a practice, but helping people build a practice where they can differentiate themselves with Google technology. And then after that, we get into what we alluded to is, got it, for some customers and partners where it makes sense, do we want to go co-sell together, right? And how do we want to go do that? Where we want to go do that? And do we have the right incentive systems out there in the marketplace for our sales teams and everything to really make that happen? All of those things, are sort of the life cycle associated with partnering, in today's world of complexity. And the reality is, for most customers, no one just has one partner. They have multiple partners. So trying to bring together that ecosystem, I tell people today more so than ever, AI is about an ecosystem sell, is some of the challenges that we have out there.
Yeah. It's so true. I think there is, I think Jamie McBain talks about, there's no deal that doesn't have, like the average is around seven partners working together.
Exactly.
You really need.
That's why specialization is important, right? Because you have to bring in the specialization to understand, the depth of that technology and leverage it. But then you got to coordinate all that specialization, because at the end of the day, is still the key is what's the outcome, right? And are we getting the return on investment that we put in, associated with that?
Yeah. So also would be remiss if we didn't have a chat about marketplace as well. Yes, I think that's so important for customers and for Google. There's so many benefits to transacting through marketplace. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, marketplace, it's interesting. I tell everyone it's our fastest growing channel, right? It's digital commerce, at the ultimate. And all the major hyperscalers have big marketplaces right now because of the benefits that it brings to customers, right? It makes it easier for them to access technology, right? They're able to leverage their purchases often towards a commit. So there's clear economic value associated with that, right? In a sense, because of marketplace and this digital channel, you're able to take advantage of technology sooner, all right, than necessarily going out in procurement, because you already have a commit that you're leveraging to sort of make it happen, right? So we see a huge uptick in people buying through our marketplace to leverage technology. We believe that will continue. And I know I partner with ISVs a lot that's a key aspect of the partnership to ensure their success, as these digital channels emerge and get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that applies not just for ISVs, but also for service partners as well.
Exactly. Increasingly, service partners are coming out with marketplace offerings, stuff like that. But once again, I think you have to look at it as it's a channel, right? And what's always important in all of our business is distribution, right? How are we getting our offerings to customers, making them aware of it? And marketplace is increasingly becoming that distribution point for a lot of, cloud technologies out there in the marketplace and those types of things.
Yeah, and even for resellers as well, right? Google
Yes.
last
Yes.
year announced MCPO.
Yes,
And
yes, we're really excited about that, and actually, we think that will, even be bigger than our direct business. Yes, but we just, activate the channel, as part of our marketplace offering, and so channel partners can leverage that in the solutions they're putting together for customers, and sort of go from there.
yeah,
We're very excited about
so
that.
yeah. So many ways to really streamline
Yeah.
the engagement process and bringing customers in and delivering value to customers.
It
It's
really
terrific.
does streamline, the engagement process, and I think that's one of the huge benefits we bring to our ISV partners is we are helping streamline customers taking advantage of their technology type of thing, right? Along with the economic benefits of going through a marketplace and applying it to a commit. So yes, I think the value, maybe bias, is compelling associated with marketplace, but that's partly why customers sort of vote with their dollars, why it's one of our fastest growing channels out there.
Yeah. So Jim, all of these things are in place. How do you think about, because you have responsibilities to your leadership, the board, and
Mhm.
everything, on delivering value to Google? How do you think about measurement,
Yeah.
reporting, and even incentives?
Yeah.
Would be interesting as well. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to that question.
Yeah.
We work on it all the time, and it constantly evolves. But when it comes down to it, right, from a measurement standpoint, one of the things we look at, we call it influence revenue, those types of things, is
Mhm.
how do some of the partnerships we have, if I'm talking to a board, accelerate the value associated with Google technologies, right? Because if you
Yeah.
accelerate the value associated with your technologies, people will consume it more, right? So from a Google perspective, we very much look at that, and we want to understand it and those types of things. From a partner perspective, we actually, once again, depends on the partnerships. We look at, hey, how do we co-sell together, right? How do we drive customer acquisition together, right? They're going
Mhm.
out to the marketplace. Everyone wants some new customers out there. How do we do that, right? How do we assure, now we talk about, hey, you look either at growth, customer acquisition, or retention, right? How do we do that? And then to your point, do we have the right incentive programs to make that happen? One of the things we've done
Mhm.
at Google over the past couple of years, working with, Kevin Sperani, a global team, is we've transitioned, our incentive program to reward, along for the journey associated with these technologies versus just a transaction type of thing, right? I
Yeah.
actually
Right.
see the world of cloud that, the true value begins after the transaction and working with customers to make sure they can take advantage of that technology. So we now have incentive programs for partners that will help customers on that journey, more so than just a transaction. And that's been sort of very popular for what we've seen in the market so far.
Popular and so important, I think, these days in with everything being delivered on ARR, and
Yes,
renewals are so important, right? So you need to be delivering, and you make sure that your partners are lockstep with you.
exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
along the way.
it's interesting because we're investing not just from an incentive standpoint, but as I mentioned earlier, from a skill set standpoint, from a practice building standpoint, that all goes to being relevant with your customers and making sure we create our partner ecosystem and we help these partners become even more relevant with the customers that we jointly serve.
Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
So how about next year? What's on tap? I know there may be some things you can't divulge, but anything that in terms of trends,
Well,
AI, of course, and yeah,
yeah, so it trends as you know, we just released Gemini 2.0, right? And I think what that highlights is one of the trends that I know keeps a lot of us up at night is how fast paced this environment
yeah,
is right now, right? I
yeah,
tell a lot of people, what I started with my plan for January 2024 and where I had to focus right now is totally different type of thing. Matter of fact, that plan is kind of irrelevant to right now, right? So there's a sense of agility that's needed in today's marketplace that maybe we never had before. But what we are excited about is once again we spent some time with the infrastructure associated with AI training and all those types of things. And I think two things will happen. First, as people are able to leverage that infrastructure more and more, right, we'll get more innovation type of thing. And so you'll see more and more applications taking advantage of AI technology, right?
mm-hmm.
Second, especially for where our partners can help, I think the economics of AI and some of these new applications will start coming into play more and more, right? As you get out of just experimenting to the point where, hey, not only do I need to do this, but I need to do this in a way that makes money. And so to go from there. And so people will have to even get smarter about how they're leveraging this technology, what happenings on the edge, what's happening, with regards to, the not the edge, all those types of things. I think that will come into focus a bit more in 2025. So we're really excited. All right. We know infrastructure is going to continue to grow our platform business, and we really are a platform player associated with AI. People will realize the importance of that because it's not just one thing when you're developing AI. You got to leverage the processes, make sure that, obviously we're doing responsible AI. That's where the platform will come in and, make it as frictionless as possible for your users, right? So they see the benefits of it and not necessarily worry about the technology aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
A lot coming up.
Yeah, a lot coming up, but as I mentioned earlier, exciting time to be in technology, but a really exciting, opportunity for us to really bring value to our customers. And I still, once again, I go to that's what it boils down to. What we're doing with this technology, you're going to see a lot more innovation. You talk about 2025. I thought 2024 is a whirlwind. I think 2025 will be even more of a whirlwind with regards to innovation and helping customers take advantage of that innovation in a meaningful way is going to require partnerships. I say in today's world, partnerships are more important than ever before for people to achieve success. And that's why I'm so excited about 2025.
I'm with you.
Well, good. I need you with me, Chip, and go from there. Right? What you do with WorkSpan, it all plays into the ultimate, opportunity for us to be successful with the customers. So we're very appreciative of it.
That's fantastic. Yeah, thank you, Jim, for your partnership as well. It's been great working with you and the team. So
yes.
So Jim, maybe just one sort of last question. You've been in partnerships for many years, very successful, leading a big team, major, influential company like Google. What's been your, any secrets that or a piece of advice that you've learned along the way that's kind of helped you that you'd want to share with our audience? And you've already given some win-win, things like that. But yeah,
I think more so than anything, agility is what's important today, right? We literally, in today's world, you have geopolitical issues, you have a lot of shocks that can happen to the system, right? Being able to have a plan, but also have a plan for, hey, if it's not like this, it's like that, and those types of things becomes increasingly important for people so we move forward. So even, amongst my team, I say, listen, our goal is to get 1% better sort of every week, but at the same time, be agile enough to hit, whatever is sort of coming down the pike. And I think that's just how, I've approached the business. I've learned over time type of thing. I started many years ago, just, selling hardware, but you look at, what's important now and you just have to be ready to react, with regards to the business type of thing. Yeah.
Great advice. Especially as you say, especially today with just AI, just like changing, like timelines have been so compressed.
Very compressed. And, that's good, right? I like to say we're learning fast, right? And the
Yeah.
people that learn the fastest will probably be the best off, down the road and those types of things. It's not coming in. A lot of people say, hey, you come in, what do you know? I want to know how fast you can learn, because that's what's
Right.
equally important for me moving forward. Type of thing.
Yeah. Fantastic. Jim, thank you so much for taking some time today and sharing so much about Google and partners at Google and your role. Great advice, and I look forward as well. This has been fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Chip, for one, the work you do. Second, for, inviting me on the podcast and having this discussion. Love the discussion, and keep up the good work with you and the team.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jim. And I'll say, for Jim Anderson, I'm Chip Rodgers. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you on the next episode of Ecosystem Aces. Thanks, everybody.